Indeed a clinical one there from the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. I think, Barrister Fro, I'll begin with you. This message from the President, that I would say that's a full summary of a 2 hours interview. So much was said, I believe you have all watched, but I like to know it's this like a post analysis, its significance, and what Amazonians need to hold on to as we continue to fight. Please, Barrister Fro, I'll begin with you.
Yes, sir. Now let's look at what the president has said. And before even he said it, every well-informed Ambazonian knows that the Ambazonia has a government in exile. And that government is bound to respect the laws of the country that they live in. We are in exile. We are bound to respect the laws of the host country that is hosting this government in exile. Number two, when Ayabacho and the ADF and EGOFC was established, they were looking how to make money from the struggle, and they got to associate themselves and even sign contracts with the enemy. All of Ayabacho's crimes, all of his partners in crime were committed on the people of the southern Cameroon and Ambazonia. Not one, not even one, but anybody from the enemy's camp was ever killed by the ADF. They turned their guns on the people they claimed they were part of. They executed several of our soldiers. I mean, the soldiers that this government has trained to fight for our liberation. They got them in Guzang and buried them alive. Number two, they executed 2 Ambazonians in the public square. Number three, they hung the head of the prince of a village in Batibo on a tree. And all what I've said, Paddy, they claim responsibility. Not only responsibility for their own acts, but when the enemy commit extrajudicial killing on our people, this same organization led by Ayabacho, EGOFC and ADF, they claim responsibility. The time has come for them to face the music. Because you cannot eat your cake and have it. You claim responsibility for any act, means you own it and you must defend it. It's time for them to defend it in the court of law. You cannot sit in this land, America, and commit and order the commission of crimes anywhere in the world and own it and accept it and declare that you did it, and you think that the law will not come after you. These are people who, in real sense, that organization, the EGOFC and ADF, should have been declared a terrorist organization long ago. Because they have no place in this revolution. They have never had any place in the struggle. They are a branch of the enemy, the proxies of the enemy. They were acting for and on behalf of the enemy. They were killing Ambazonians. They were not killing La Republic citizens. No La Republic citizen has fallen because of ADF. No. Their guns were on the people of the southern Cameroon and Ambazonia. And that is what, and they have claimed responsibility. Let them face the music. President Sako has given the world a succinct and very detailed explanation of what these people are. and who they are, and makes a concise difference between the government in exile and these hoodlums who are acting on behalf of the army of the enemy as the perpetrators of all the crimes that they were committing on our people. Extrajudicial killings, which are prohibited by any law in the world. Secondly, our people, the self-defense people of this government, respect the Geneva Convention like any war. Mr. Paul Biya declared a war on our people, and we had no weapons. We had to defend ourselves by all means possible. And you must stay, like the president said, he has made a clear distinction between fighting a war and criminality. You fight a war, you only fight the enemy. You don't fight the civilians. You don't fight children. You don't fight women. You don't fight innocent people who cannot defend themselves. You fight only the enemy. Unless a civilian has associated himself with that enemy and is working for that enemy, then he becomes a paramilitary personnel of that enemy, then he's part of the war. Until then, you must only fight those that are at war with you. Number two, anytime that you on any side of the conflict, you capture anybody, the law, the international law, the Rome statutes have defined what is a war crime and what is not. You capture a soldier and you go and murder that soldier, you have committed a war crime. And our fighters on the ground never capture anybody and kill. No. If you do that, this government will hand you over to the judge for justice to take its course. Because the international the rules of the war must be respected by all the parties. La Republic of Cameroon has committed all kinds of war crimes on our people. When we file a complaint, we listed all of them. And this war crime does not only concern adult civilians. It concerns our babies and our school children. Would you imagine, Paddy, in between Widikum and Manfe in that your village, I don't know how you call it, the Cameroon soldiers took a baby and fried that baby in a boiling oil. What has a toddler who was sitting with his parents and the parents escaped?
You are talking about Kendem.
Kendem,
yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
what has that toddler done?
That story is quite remarkable by Stafro. What they did
Yes,
actually, the gendarme left Manfe and they were driving towards Bamenda. And so these women heard that the gendarmes were coming and they flee into the
and left the baby.
And left the baby there in a cage. And before they came back, the baby was frying. And so they got offended that the women escaped. And so they took the baby and fried the baby.
Yes.
That's how.
And that's not all. And that's not all. That's not all. In Muyuka, a baby was lying on a couch when the mother was in the kitchen. And a Cameroon soldier opened fire, buried 9 bullets into that baby matter. That's another war crime. The killing of Ndale going to school in his mother's car is a war crime. The killing of baby Tato in Bamenda, walking back from school, is a war crime. The burning of our villages and our towns is a war crime. The killing of civilians who were not involved in the fighting It's a war crimes committed on our people by the Republic of Cameroon. The
Even as we
genocide they
speak
committed
now, they are
genocide.
even as we speak right now, they are oppressing the people in a corner, intimidating
Exactly.
people to conform. All of that is war crime. Once you use
All that is
civilians,
war
it's
crime.
a war crime. Yeah.
That is a war crime as defined by the Rome Statutes. And we have filed a complaint, and the complaint is taking its course. Set look, Paddy, the ADF and AGOP team must be ready to respond to its crimes. Not all of them have been picked up, but they will be picked up. Nowhere has started this whole thing. Nowhere is a country in the West, and anytime that they do criminal referrals, the other countries are respected. They will all be picked up. They will all answer to their crime, which they owned. They owned. So our president has done a marvelous job this week. He has done that interview should go viral around the world so that they know exactly what we are
Yeah.
going through.
By Mbeseha, before we move forward, I'd like to get your take. I've been looking forward to talk to you since Wednesday, please. Since Thursday.
Well, I think the president said a lot. And because of lack of time, let me just say a few things to clarify what he said. The Ambazonian struggle has been going on for almost 9 years today. Can anybody say that is terrorism? Certainly no. I can assure every Ambazonian who is doing the right thing that nobody will charge you for terrorist acts. Is it me saying it? No. Look at all the human rights reports on Cameroon from 2015 till today, where the Ambazonian struggle features. They're talking about the struggle of Amazonia, and then they're talking about the struggle with Boko Haram, terrorist organization. They are clearly defined there. And so, once you are doing the right thing, you don't need to be scared of anything called terrorism. But in the Ambazonian struggle, there are good and bad actors. Bad actors commit war crimes in the process. Bad actors violate all international law on war and human rights. Are they being prosecuted? Some are. Would they be prosecuted? They will. I can assure you that. They will. The doors of the ICC are open. Their process is slow, but it comes up all the time. It will come to pass. But looking forward to what the president said, and specifically to what is happening in the United States and other countries around the world. See, you don't take an indictment for a conviction. To the best of my knowledge, no ambassador has been convicted anywhere in the United States of acts of terrorism or any similar thing. It has not happened. Is there any evidence that it could have happened? Of course. Acts of terrorism can give rise to criminal charges as well as they can give rise to civil reparations. In the last 5, 6, 7 years, acting in the name of Cameroon, Salah has sued a number of Ambazonians as on behalf of the victims of terrorism committed by Ambazonians. None of those cases has seen the day of light. They all failed before the American courts. And so, talk less of criminal actions. Nothing has succeeded to brand us terrorists, either by Salai or any other person. And so Salai might do all that. Don't care yourself about what the Salai says or what CRTV says. People report stories the way they want them to be reported. A story headline is not, there's a lot behind it. For example, if somebody says they caught Joe Ayaba, a principal Ambazonian fighter, it could be a good or bad fighter. So don't take that because they say he's fighter for anything's sake. It could be a bad fighter. How many of us have forgotten what happened in Kumba? Remember the Mother Teresa school in Kumba, where they killed those children? And what the government said, I think at that time it was quoted as saying that, look, we authorized this, but it went too far. In other words, they authorized it, but the actors went too far. And so there are good and bad actors. Back to United States again. An indictment is not a conviction. And to the best of my knowledge, let me repeat again, nobody has been convicted in the United States with any activity related to Ambazonia as a terrorist action. I can just give you a few examples. For example, the old person that was served time, Ambazonia, but with unrelated things to Ambazonia, is Mangang. Mangang's case had nothing to do with Ambazonia. Nobody should ever quote it as having to do with Ambazonia. She was charged for trying to ship weapons to Lagos. That was not a terrorist act. Her destination was Lagos. That's not Nigeria. There are laws against carriage and shipment of arms in the United States. And so she was charged only for that. She entered a plea deal, and then that was the end of it. So nobody should ever say that Mangam, because she's a Brazilian, was convicted for trying to ship arms to Cameroon. No, Lagos is not Cameroon. Lagos is not Amazonia. And in any case, there was Mangang never had the opportunity to explain what she was going to do with the arms. She simply violated the arms laws in America. Because here, even in the United States, if you are supposed to get a license to buy a gun, if you want to buy a gun from the store without the license, you'll be charged for illegal carriage of arms. That is not terrorism. And so people should take note of that. And again, those of us in the United States, be sure that you are doing the right thing. You don't get covered when you are doing the wrong thing. And again, let me explain what the president said as far as the lockdown is concerned. He said, look, lockdown when it is necessary and when it is acceptable. I explained earlier during the week that lockdowns were never meant to bring to the people. And so those who call for their lockdowns, months, weeks, or years, they don't bind us as the government. As the government, we do the right thing. But we don't forget that there are bad actors, I've just said. They struggle. We don't take responsibility for their wrongdoings, but we have the responsibility to explain what is right and what is wrong. So that is what it is. The president explained that, and many other things that we'll have to deal with going down the road. And so rest assured that once you are doing the right thing, if you follow us, the president said, no member of his government have ever ordered people to be shot or to do wrong things. If you follow the instructions from us, be sure you are on the right track. Go draft. Your money will properly kept in an American bank if you are in the United States. Nobody will charge you for drafting to help your own people. Do what we tell you. Just if you doubt, ask questions. If you doubt again, ask and ask and ask. But be reminded, as I conclude this segment, that there are bad actors. There are very many bad actors in the struggle. Maybe Choyaba is one. I'm not indicting him. Maybe many others. But be aware that if you're a bad actor, there's almost no room for you to hide. If you're prosecuted by the ICC, you might be prosecuted by the home government where you reside or where you are resident. So you are not above the law. None of us is above the law. We should be law abiding, doing what we have to do. If you doubt, ask questions. If you don't know, ask for the directions. It is not about President Sako. It is not about Paddy sitting there moderating thing. It is not about my colleague. So it is not about me. It is about the right thing. Dislike our faces if you want, but listen to us. You must if you want to be free. This advice we give is free. It doesn't make us legitimate. That's not legitimate. Legitimate us. No. It just makes you safe. Listen to them. Again, on the lockdown, this is my own personal addition. Yes, as legal as they are, yes, they are coming to the end. And the next question is, What next? After the elections are gone over, you have locked people down for 2, 3 months. What next after the so-called elections? Do they have a plan for it? Are they going to continue to lock down when President Chiroma or President Akere Muna or somebody comes to power here, won't they? They have no plan for that. Their idea is to be
Or
on the high
President
staff
Bia,
and
or
make
President
noise.
Bia is
So
maybe.
that's my that's my input on that. Lockdowns, I've said we never authorize them, and so
Okay,
they do harm to people,
baristas,
as the president says.
baristas, let's
They,
take a quick
they are
exit
intended to
to
help
have
us.
Paddy,
Over to
Paddy,
you.
let me add one little thing.
please.
Some of the atrocities committed by AGOFC and ADF are committed by the enemy, La Republic of Cameroon, and they have contracted with bad actors like AGOFC and ADF to take responsibility for the acts that the government commits. Extrajudicial killing.
Yeah.
There have been many. And Ayabacho will come out and say, well, we did it to send a warning. Let them dance to the music. Thank you.